And the top story coming from the United States.
Absolutely, Rohit. Now, the question here is that did politics push the probe against Donald Trump? Well, a report by U.S. Special Counsel John Durham says that the FBI lacked actual evidence to probe Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and relied too heavily on tips provided by the political opponents.
Yes, that's a strong allegation there. The United States prosecutor claims that the probe into alleged collusion between Russia and Trump's 2016 campaign was based on flimsy evidence and had serious flaws.
Absolutely. Now, Trump's Attorney General Bill Barr had appointed Special Counsel John Durham in 2019 to address these allegations. Durham's 300-page report follows a 4-year investigation that continued under Barr's successor, Attorney General Merrick, Garland, an appointee of Joe Biden.
The long-awaited report was highly critical of the origins of the FBI probe titled Crossfire Hurricane that investigates allegations of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign. As per the report, neither U.S. law enforcement nor the intelligence community appeared to possess actual evidence of collusion.
Durham, a former federal prosecutor, also said that the FBI and the Justice Department displayed double standards in the way they investigated Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Trump, who is seeking a 2024 Republican presidential nomination, welcomed the Durham report. The former U.S. president said, and I quote, "The American public was scammed, just as it is being scammed right now by those who don't want to see greatness for America."
Radical left Democrat investigations of your all-time favorite president, me, is just a continuation of the most disgusting witch hunt in the history of our country. It's gone on forever with Russia, 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 and Ukraine, 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 and the Mueller hoax. It's an absolute disgrace.
The FBI has said that its current leadership has implemented dozens of corrective actions. Durham's task, according to an order by then Attorney General Barr, was to look into the origins of Crossfire Hurricane and Special Counsel subsequent investigation, both homed in on Russian hacking and the social media manipulation in favor of Trump in 2016, and also the multiple contacts between the Trump campaign and the Russians.
The Mueller probe expanded to cover alleged acts of obstruction by Trump. In the end, Mueller gained convictions of 6 members of the Trump campaign and issued indictments of 25 Russians. But Mueller found no evidence of criminal cooperation with Russia by the Trump campaign. His evidence of alleged obstruction by Trump was rejected by Barr. Here's what Justice Department Inspector General said.
We found, and as we outline here, are deeply concerned that so many basic and fundamental errors were made by 3 separate hand-picked investigative teams on one of the most sensitive FBI investigations after the matter had been briefed to the highest levels within the FBI, even though the information sought through the use of FISA authority related so closely to an ongoing presidential campaign, and even though those involved with the investigation knew that their actions would likely be subjected to close scrutiny.
Durham's investigation led to the indictments of a Russian national and also a prominent Washington lawyer for making false statements to the FBI, but both were acquitted. Meanwhile, the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government will hold a hearing on Thursday. The committee will hear from 3 FBI whistleblowers, examine abuses seen at the Bureau, and also hear how the FBI retaliated. Well, Rohit, these are some serious allegations. But for more on this, we earlier talked to our correspondent Susan Tehrani, and we asked her as to what do these revelations mean for U.S. President Joe Biden, the former President Donald Trump, and also what happens amid the 2024 presidential elections. Listen in.
Revelations by these FBI whistleblowers that they were instructed by the higher-ups to be hyper-focused on domestic violent extremism, inflate the issue, or bypass standard procedures when it came to January 6 defendants come at a time when the Biden campaign is squarely focused on these issues. So the ramification for the current president and his campaign may be a lot more than these two revelations being a win for former President Donald Trump and his campaign. And one of those reasons is because Donald Trump supporters and Republicans, for the most part, since 2016, never really believed that the former president colluded with Russia to win the election. And as far as faith in the FBI goes, well, many Republicans really don't find that the FBI is being fair to not only Donald Trump, but perhaps conservatives as well.
The other big question is, will there be any accountability, notably regarding the Durham report? Here's Susan Terani again.
Accountability in terms of criminal or civil penalties, more likely than not, the answer to that is no. Reputational damage, well, it'll all depend on what media outlet one tunes into. The best case scenario may be an idea that Durham himself is floating, and that is to create space or a job for a nonpartisan agent to be tasked with challenging steps taken in politically sensitive investigations. How far that recommendation will go, well, we'll have to wait and see.